Today's guest is the preeminent voice in combat sports, a true pioneer in MMA journalism and storytelling.
For nearly 2 decades, he's been at the center of the fight game, covering the biggest moments and the biggest stars, always in the pursuit of bringing great stories and conversations to his audience.
He's been the host of so many shows, including the MMA Hour, the Ringer MMA Show, the Ariel Helwani Basketball Show, and is now hosting the wildly popular The Ariel Helwani Show, as well as running Uncrowned, Yahoo's combat sports vertical, not to mention covering the upcoming Winter Olympics with CBC.
Hey, he's 15-time MMA Journalist of the Year winner, a trailblazer who's built a career on honesty, passion, and relentless curiosity. Please welcome to our show,
Ariel Helwani.
Wow.
It's good to see you, man.
Welcome.
You know, when you hear that,
I appreciate that.
do you kind of reflect on how much you have actually done?
I often like to smell the flowers. I know some people say, "Oh, you shouldn't smell the flowers."
No, you should.
But it's good.
Yeah.
And to hear that and to be here. So we're here to break the fourth wall in Toronto, CBC Studios, as you said, Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't live in Canada anymore, but Canada holds a very near and dear place to my heart. So when I get to step out of the bubble back home in America and come here, it feels like, wow, it's been a really long journey.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, Canadians have obviously come to America and been successful. They don't make it easy for us over there. They don't. So I'm very proud of my journey. I'm proud of what I accomplished, and I appreciate you guys wanting to talk to me and for such a nice intro. It's really, really nice.
Well, I mean, every bit of it is true.
Yeah.
Like, whenever anyone thinks about MMA, the sport, the coverage of it, you're the first name that pops to mind as far as the person who tells the stories of everybody involved in the ring. How does it feel to know that that is, you know, you are at the center of that? And that's
It's almost like your legacy.
It's going to be a huge part of your legacy.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Although I like to tell people that if it all ended today, I would be very, very, very upset. There's a lot more that I want to do. I don't just want to be known as the MMA guy or the combat guy or the sports guy. My dream, my goal is to be known as the greatest interviewer of all time. That's what I'm most passionate about. And so I want my legacy in, God willing, 80 years from now to be like, that guy was the best.
So you love
storytelling.
storytelling.
I love story. I love asking people questions.
Yeah.
I love interacting. I like conversating. The thing is, I don't like doing this in my private life. Like if you ask my wife, I'm reclusive.
Right.
I have social anxiety. I don't like to interact with anyone but my kids. But when it comes to my job, my work, I turn into a different person.
You save it all for this.
Maybe I pour so much into the shows and stuff like that. I don't have time for the other stuff. That's probably not very healthy. But when I started this whole journey in 2001, when I went to Syracuse University, I was surrounded for the first time in my life with a bunch of kids who had a similar dream to mine. They all wanted to be broadcasters like me. In high school, no one wanted to be, so I was sort of different. I come to Syracuse, everyone wants to be a sports broadcaster. And I told my parents back in 01, you know, there's this sport called MMA. There's this organization called the UFC. No one's covering it. No one's talking about it. There's no face. I want to be the face. I don't know if I'm the face. I wouldn't dare say that I'm, as far as media is concerned.
You know you are the face.
But I wanted to become the voice. I wanted to become the guy. And here I am on that journey.
That's got to be part of the drive too for you, like being so central in that entire community, having those relationships with those fighters. Like the story of how you started when you were like, I'm just going to go on MySpace and message everybody and see who gets back to me. It seems in a way like another time, but it really is what happens today too.
Yeah.
Well, God, thank you, God, for social media and for MySpace. Kids these days don't know about MySpace, but yes, like when I started, so I go to school, I start to do like my own radio show and stuff, but then I get a job in production behind the camera upon graduating. And now I'm going down this path, you know, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and I finally get to 07 and I'm realizing like, I want to be on camera. I want to be a journalist. I want to follow this dream and path. And so I'm at this network called Spike TV, which at the time was the home of the UFC, the TV home of the UFC. And I get this job there. And I realize after 1 week that this job isn't for me, that it's a very boring job, that there was nothing creative about it. I was just the middleman. My title was production coordinator. It was very, very uninspiring. And I'm a very passionate person. I'm the kind of person who I always say, like, you know, when I get to 80, God willing, I don't want to have regrets. I want to go for it. I don't want to wish that I zigged when I should have zagged, type of thing. And so after 1 week at this job, I quit. I went to my boss's office and I said, this job isn't for me. And he was so mad. He said, you'll regret this forever and you're unprofessional and you'll never live this down. And this is such a big mistake. You just got here. Give it a chance. And I knew in my heart this job wasn't for me. And so I decided to start my own website right then and there. And I was going to show people that I could be the best interviewer in combat sports. And I was going to interview people, post an interview once a day, Monday through Friday for 6 months. I was going to give myself 6 months to get noticed. The problem was I didn't know a soul in combat sports. And so how do I connect to these fighters and managers and trainers? MySpace, social media. And so I would send 20, 30 messages a day. I'd get a response back from George St. Pierre, from Tito Ortiz, from Chuck Liddell, the biggest stars of that era, slowly but surely. And that's really how I got on my way.
You got responses. How amazing is that,
Yeah.
right? If you think about it.
When I would get those responses, I swear it was like the greatest feeling in the world. Like I'd get one, and then one would lead to two, to three. And slowly but surely, people were like, who is this kid? Who is this guy? I was 25 at the time, and I was starting to get noticed. The problem was I was steadfast on sticking to that 6 month deadline because I was living in New York City. I just gotten engaged. I was making zero money. This was not a time where you can get paid off of, Facebook or TikTok or something like that. Those things didn't exist. And with 3 days left on my deadline, 3 days left, March 28, 2008, I get an email from someone who was starting a mixed martial arts website. And they said, we saw your stuff. Would you like to be the editor of the site? And I was like, yeah, sure. I would love it. And they said, like, what's your vision for the site? And I told them, I want to interview fighters. I want to be professional. I want to come with a suit and tie and a mic flag and just do this the right way. And they said, great. How much do you want to get paid? And I said, I have no idea. And I took the number that I was making at Spike and I doubled it just so I could show that guy.
Yeah, that you're making more. Just stick it to him. Yes.
And I felt like I had won.
The part of your story where you said, this isn't for me, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
When you had what could have been an opportunity in your hands. I think that's so key because so many people would be in a spot where they feel, okay, here's some ladder climbing I'm going to do. I can't turn my back on this. Like the idea of jumping out on your own is scary, right? But for you, there was never a doubt. For you, you were like,
no way. Man, I left Montreal. I went to Syracuse. I was horribly homesick there. I wanted to quit many times. I had made it too far to just kind of take the easy road.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I really do believe we get one shot at life. And I just wanted to go for it because my dad always used to say when I was a kid, I was a dreamer. Like I would tell people I was going to play in the NBA. Everyone knew I wasn't good enough, but I would always have these grandiose dreams. Everyone around me wanted to do the more traditional jobs. Nothing wrong with that. But I would look at people on TV and I'm like, I'm going to be one of those guys. I don't know how, I don't know where, when. And I did not want to sell myself short.
Yeah.
And so that's why I take my job so seriously now. And I actually have this like fear of failure in the sense that I'm always afraid that it's all going to come crashing down and I'm not going to live up to my expectations. I'm not going to be able to realize my dreams because I wanted this so bad. And I still feel like I just started. I still feel like I'm just scratching the surface. And so
but here's the thing, we can relate to this. I know everything you're saying, we feel it, right? Like, and it's called ambitious.
Yeah.
We're very, we want to step to the next level. And you're saying you're just scratching, but you're not. You've done so much.
I don't feel that way.
But you should. Like, and that's the problem with both of us too. We're like, okay, what's next? What's next? And we just don't know. We've had an incredible career.
You know what I think is really interesting though? I think what you just said about, I'm just scratching the surface, even though you've got all this stuff that's behind you or you're working on currently. This is a very common thing among people that just achieve tons of stuff.
It's true.
Your good friend Dwayne says this too. He's like, I'm afraid of the bottom dropping out, so I got to keep working and I got to keep going.
Yeah.
You are in contact on the regular with people who do, to normal people, maybe the craziest job on earth, which is going in a ring and like getting punched in the face or punching someone in the face for a living. Do they all have that same attitude about success and about what they need to do in life to get there?
Well, first of all, I always like to say they possess DNA that you and I do not possess. They are different characters.
Yeah.
Like to walk into a ring, let's say MMA, you walk into a ring, you're wearing 4-ounce gloves, small shorts if you're a guy, a cup, and that's it. Not even shoes.
Right.
Like that's just different. You're cut from a different cloth, and I have so much respect for them. And the other thing about it is, it's like, okay, if you do something, you go to the gym and like, God forbid, you injure yourself. Let's just say, God forbid, someone breaks their leg. You probably aren't going to do that thing anytime soon because you're like, screw that.
Right.
That was awful.
Yeah.
I've talked to guys with like legit broken ankles, broken legs, broken faces, broken orbital, broken nose. And they're like, yeah, I'll be good. 2 months, I'll be back in the gym. No problem. This is nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, aren't you deterred? Aren't you like, aren't you scared to do it again, to experience this again? No way. They're just so great. And what I love about fighters is that unlike hockey players or baseball players, they're sort of coddled, they're PR trained, they don't really open up. These guys are forced to open up because they're in the business of selling themselves.
Right.
They want you to buy the pay-per-view, to watch them fight, to watch them win or lose. They want you to buy tickets, expensive tickets, in Vegas or any place in the world to watch them fight, not the team that they play for,
Right.
the machine that they're a part of, them. And so they have to put themselves out there. They have to wear their heart on their sleeves. And they all come from really interesting backgrounds, right? A lot of them have come through some tough times, and they've experienced a lot, and they've overcome a lot, and they make for the best interviews. And so ultimately, like, all the fights have sort of blended together at this point, but the personalities, their stories, the fighters, I could do that all day. And that's why I feel so privileged. A guy realizes his dream. He finally climbs the mountaintop. He finally wins that belt.
Yeah.
He finally is able to change his family's life. And then I get to talk to him 2 days later on my show. And the emotion that they exude, that they share with us is intoxicating. So I feel very blessed.
And it's authentic. We haven't even started.
Yeah, we should get started.
Sorry.
I know, we just keep talking and talking. I just love it.
So we've got a bunch of photos, like we said,
Can't wait to see
your...
it.
We're going to go right into it.
Yeah,
Okay,
go for it.
Okay. So I pick?
You pick.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go here.
There you go.
There I am.
Which one is this, by the way?
This might be 14 or 15.
Award number 14 or 15,
So
right?
this is the Journalist of the Year award from the World MMA Awards. I've won 15 times in a row. And look, I would never pretend that this is a Pulitzer or anything like that, but why it means so much to me is because it's voted on by the fans. And as you know, the media and the public sometimes have a bit of a contentious relationship. People don't trust the media. They're hot and cold on them. And for me to be awarded this honor from the fans 15 years in a row, I always say I feel like I, more so than anything, work for the people.
Yeah.
In 2016, I was banned by the UFC because they didn't like some of my reporting. And the only reason why I was allowed to come back were the fans. They literally fought for me. They revolted. And I told them that I would never forget that, and I would never take that for granted. And I would always try to do my best to cover the sport in the most honest and fair way and transparent way for them. And so this means the world because, it's hard enough to win something once, let alone
15.
twice. 5 times, 15
times.
And hopefully in December we'll get number 16.
Oh, so the next one is in December.
Yeah.
Do you know if you're getting it?
No, I do not.
Does anybody else show
Let's
up?
promo
at this point?
right now.
Is it just you showing up being like, hey guys?
Name it.
I should just name it after you.
And then give it to other people.
Yeah.
But I'm very competitive, and I don't want to give that up.
That'd be amazing. At some point in the future, it'll be called the Ariel Helwani
should
MMA Journalist of the Year
That would be
Award, and they'll
kinda
give it to
cool.
someone else.
I hope I'm alive to see that because
Yeah.
usually do that when someone passes away. I don't want that. But no, it really does mean the world to me. And this organization, the World MMA Awards, they do a great job. And again, it's not a panel that chooses it; it's the people. And I always felt like I was a man of the people. I don't have a traditional voice broadcaster, or I don't speak like that. I just feel like I'm one of them. And they saw me grow up in front of their eyes. I was just a fan who really loved this and also went to journalism school, and I wanted to represent them. And so, this means the world. This is in Las Vegas.
Do you communicate? Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, your fans, let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Do you communicate with them fairly often? Do you take their
Always.
inputs? They're a big part of who you are.
Yeah, like even on my show, once a week we have a segment called On the Nose where they sent in, it's a play on my big nose, but I'm also on the nose with my answers and the questions.
Good
I'm
play.
self-deprecating.
Right.
I love to interact with them, and honestly, I don't, they'll send in a whole bunch of questions. I look for the critical ones.
Right.
I don't want just as the kids say, the glazing ones. I don't want people just kissing my behind. I want, okay, tell me if you have an issue with me, tell me.
Right.
I'll interact on Twitter or X. Just a couple of days ago, I was arguing with some people, and I'll have my friends say, like, why do you read the comments?
Yeah, right.
Why do you interact? And they're right. I probably shouldn't, but it's right there, and you want to defend yourself at times, and you want to partake. And I try not to get too high with the compliments or too low with the critical stuff. And
so you defend yourself on social media?
Hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Why
I was
not?
told you're not supposed to do that.
What I've noticed too, we in that intro that we did, I think the one word that we missed was integrity, because you really stand by what you say and you're reporting. So if someone says to you, whatever, if someone has something critical about what you say that you really feel is wrong, or it's factually wrong, you don't shy away from it.
You nailed it. That's actually if you say, I don't like your interviewing style, I don't like your face, I don't like your demeanor, there's nothing I could do. I won't defend myself. I will not defend myself. If you say your report was inaccurate, you made that up, I will freaking stand
Go
on the
after it,
front
yeah.
lines and fight you. The president of an organization, not the UFC, another organization, PFL, and he quote tweeted a clip of me talking about his organization
Right.
recently, and he was like, "This is not true." And I came back pretty freaking strong because the way I feel is if I don't have the trust of the audience, if I don't have that bond with them, if they don't believe that everything that I'm saying is 100%, not 99%, 100% accurate, I have nothing. I have no credibility whatsoever. And if you're going to poke holes in that, you better be ready for me to respond. And I will respond because I have nothing to hide. Everything that I say is backed by facts, backed by reporting. I don't guess. I don't shoot for the stars and hope that I'm right. It's all backed. Right now, there's a huge scandal going on in the UFC, a gambling scandal.
Right.
I'm talking to people incessantly, trying to gather information, trying to understand what's going on and trying to be accurate. And no one can poke holes in that because it is accurate. It's always accurate.
Do you feel like that is one of the biggest, I don't know, the biggest problems, but the way that information gets disseminated now, people don't necessarily have to be correct.
1,000%.
Right? And the most wrong thing can be seen by the most people.
Yeah.
And so
it's
this
very
is
scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
So I'm an old soul when it comes to journalism and news. I love learning about, the anchors and the journalists of yesteryear. And there was a guy by the name of Walter Cronkite, who was the anchor of the CBS Evening News.
Interviewers as well, right? So we study.
Of course.
Yeah.
And this man, as you know, was known as the most trusted man in America. And people used to call him Uncle Walter because he was a warm blanket. But when he said something, the world believed it. America believed it. And
you know what he said to me? Just going to break. He told me that Trump was going to win. We had an interview. I'm like, there's no way.
Really?
And he said it.
Oh my gosh.
With
that's unbelievable.
Pure,
Straight
he's
up
like,
and
you
down.
watch, you call me, let me know if I'm right or wrong.
Well, that's
but anyways, I was
incredible.
going to say, wait, for trusted, talking about he knows his
I'll
stuff.
tell you how much that means to me.
Yeah.
My second son's name is Walter.
Oh.
Because that integrity, that personality, having that type of respect with the audience is what has meant most to me. And so when I would think of that name, I think of like strong, respected, and I want to be that voice for the people. I want the people to know that when I say something, when Ariel Helwani says something, it's true and you can take it to the bank. Because we're surrounded, as you said, not only are we surrounded by, the wacky reports and fake stuff online, but I live in a world, in a combat sports world, where there's a lot of questionable characters who are trying to feed you a lot of BS at times. And it's my job to tell you what's right.
That's a lot of work.
Facts over charisma?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And also, you want to be factual? I don't always need to be first.
I
just want to be right.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd rather be fifth to the story but get it right, as opposed to first and like get it 85% right. I think sometimes with social media, Twitter, whatever, there's people who rush to be first. And that's a big problem, because if you get stuff wrong, why would I believe you ever again? As a consumer, I consume a lot of different stuff. I'm a fan of baseball, basketball. I know the reporters that do a good job and don't, and I want to be the guy that the fans view as
reliable.
doing a good job.
Have you ever been wrong?
Never. I'm batting 1,000.
You're batting 1,000.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'm very proud, and no one can say otherwise.
Yeah.
There's not a single story out there that someone could be like, yeah, you got that one wrong. I'm very, very, it's actually like my greatest fear.
Yeah.
Like imagine you get a story wrong. Like to me, there's nothing worse than that.
Right.
Egg on your face.
Yeah.
You told the public the wrong stuff. Can't do that.
You can't. Or you won't get your 16th award.
That's
in
right.
December.
Okay.
Or the name and actor.
I'm going this side.
Ooh, you took the further one.
Look at this.
What's that?
Look at
What's
this.
that?
These are Montreal legends. I'm not one of them.
Yes,
Yeah, they're the Montreal boys.
This right here is George St. Pierre. In my opinion, the greatest MMA
I
fighter of
agree.
all time.
Yes.
Of GSP.
I agree.
Welterweight champ, middleweight champ. And right over here is Sami Zayn, tremendous pro wrestler. This photo was this actually is a really, really special day for me. So the first thing that I ever loved was pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I loved the WWF. Bret Hart was my favorite athlete as a kid. I used to go to the doctor's office and I would be afraid of getting a shot, and my mom would say to me, think of something that makes you happy. I'd close my eyes and it would be, in my mind, I would be thinking of Bret Hart winning the WWF World Championship. That's how much it meant to me.
Aww.
And so WWE now was coming to Montreal. There was a big event. Sami Zayn was competing for the World Heavyweight Championship against the champion at the time, Roman Reigns. And I tweeted something to the effect of like, holy crap, this is such a big deal. This is one of our own going up for the belt at the Bell Center in Montreal against the big bad Roman Reigns. I got to figure out a way to be there. And so luckily in my career, I met people and whatnot. WWE reaches out to me and they're like, yeah, you need to be there. And so they asked me first to write an essay, a video essay, as to what this moment means for Montreal. Sammy fighting for the belt, competing for the belt. And I wrote it, and it was well received, and it was incredible. And then they invited me to come backstage. And for me, backstage at a wrestling event is like Valhalla. Like, wow, it's the forbidden place. Like, what goes on back here? This is unbelievable.
Smell,
so this is backstage. And so I'm here, and Sammy's here, and George is here. Royalty, like true royalty. And so, like to be with these guys in Montreal backstage at a WWE event, George is one of the first people that I ever got to interview. I mentioned him earlier. And the amazing thing about this human being, the pride of Saint Isidore, Quebec, Canada, the guy that I met in 97, same exact dude today. Like, I have never met a more humble, down-to-earth superstar. It is unbelievable how the guy has not changed one iota. And so you see him with a big smile here, happy to be here. Like, he's giving Sammy more respect in this moment as he's like there as a fan. Like, hey man, good luck. Like, George, you accomplished it all. You are on the Mount Rushmore. You are the guy, in my opinion. So, like, again, if you would have told me 20 years ago that I would get moments like this in my hometown.
I love this picture as just an intersection of like so many parts of you and things that you love, all in one moment, all in one photo. Where were you when the Montreal Screwjob happened?
You know where I was?
Where were you?
I was in the building, sitting in the 400s.
No.
I was in the Molson Center watching as a Bret Hart fan, 5 rows from the top. With my friend Jason Tackman, and we were like, what the hell is going on here? What are they doing to our guy? And then I ran home. This was November of 1997. The internet was just starting, and I went on the wrestling forums, and that's how I learned that he was getting screwed and he was leaving and going to WCW. But are you familiar with a Venn diagram? Do you know what a Venn diagram is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
This is pretty much the Venn diagram of my life. This is wrestling, this is MMA, and I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle. It says a lot.
I don't know what the middle part of the Venn diagram is called, but it's this in this moment.
It's fantastic.
It's a great photo, and it shows a lot. Look at the way you're smiling. Look at that smile there.
Yeah,
I'm so
at
happy.
ease, just at ease.
You're like, this is the best.
You get a lot
I'm literally living my dream.
You're living
but you
your
also
dream.
do get so much traction from your interviews with wrestlers.
Yeah.
That online community of wrestling fans is, I mean, as wildly as they swing back and forth and who they love and what they hate, they're so invested.
They're fascinating human beings, and you rarely get to see
I like the way you
them,
said that.
like outside of the character. It's funny. Hopefully I'm not revealing too much. The woman who set this up, me being on your show, is named Joanna Landsberg. And her, I think, second cousin is a man by the name of Michael Landsberg, who was the pioneer, in my opinion, in terms of wrestling interviews. He used to have a show on TSN for many years called Off the Record. And I'm a kid now. I'm 15, 14, 16 in Montreal. At 5 o'clock on TSN, he would have interviews with The Undertaker, The Rock, Vince McMahon, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, at a character on TV. And he was the first one to do that. And so I've always said, like, my interviews, I'd hope the way people I look at his from back in the day, they will look at mine with the wrestlers in the same way, because I like to interview them at a character.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that's an interesting thing too. I just watched yours with Ricochet.
Oh wow!
And what's really,
are you a wrestling fan?
I am a massive wrestling fan. Yeah,
Okay,
huge.
Okay,
I was introduced to it. No, I used to watch WWF, but first time I've been to WWE
was Elimination
live.
Chamber here.
When Cena
When
turned?
Cena turned.
Yeah.
Her very first show. So we were on
ever.
the floor for Cena's heel turn, and the next day she's like, "I get it now. I get it. I understand it." I'm like,
amazing,
"Welcome,
right?
Well,
welcome."
partly because Dwayne Johnson gave me tickets, and I was right in front.
I
was
like, you rolled like that.
I roll like that.
She does.
And
She
I've
rolls
never
like that.
seen, and I was like, I need to call, like that night, I was like, Carlos, I need to call you because I get it. I get it. The end of everything. I get it. Because first I was like, yeah, it's cool and all, but that was the moment I realized how incredible it is.
Did you understand what was going on with Cena?
Yeah, after I talked to him. But, well, no, Dwayne, I saw him backstage. He's like, you got to stay until the end. And I go, why do I need to? I know, I'm flexing right now. But I'm like, why do I need to stay at the end?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And so now I know. These are the pants I was wearing there.
He gave you the heads up.
Yeah, he goes, just stay. And I go,
Just stay for it.
I was like, because I was thinking maybe, I don't know,
Leave
stay until they
early.
have. But I took my brother, who's a huge fan as well, and he was losing
So
his
you got to be
shit.
backstage too.
Just to go see Dwayne, to say hi. But
It's cool though, right?
it's
You get
really
to see the
cool.
guys walking around.
And then it was an experience, and I get why people are so obsessed with it. And it's a culture and I don't want to say
Soap
cult,
opera.
but it's a culture that is so
It's a
celebrated. But it's a soap opera.
Yeah.
Because I could hear them talking while they're hitting each other. Like, do I
Yeah.
do this? I'm like, what? This is the coolest thing
I
ever.
love that.
But
So,
the parallel between talking to MMA guys and wrestling guys is really interesting, because the idea of like kayfabe,
Yeah.
So that ricochet, the reason why I bring that one up is because he's talking on both sides.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot now. Like you'll have someone, they'll talk about what it's really like a little bit, and then they'll swing into character because they've got to promote that thing that's coming.
Right. And so I try it. I don't like when they give me the character.
Yeah.
So I try
You don't like the character.
No, because like you don't want to interview. You're interviewing an actor. You don't want the actor, right?
Yeah.
You want the guy. But I respect the business to the point where I'll never say like, so are you winning this weekend?
Sure.
That's disrespectful.
Yes.
Is it real? Is it that nonsense? No. But I'll try to steer away from topics that would allow them to lean into the character. And I'll play with it. Like I know when he's like crapping on the fans and things like that, he probably doesn't really feel that way, but that's his persona right now. And I have fun with that. But more often than I like the backstage politics, I like the news, all that. As you know, like there's a lot of it in wrestling, especially now with AEW and WWE. And I think it's fascinating. And you know, there's not a lot of people that have the opportunity to interview these guys like I can. And so it's a great privilege, and I don't want to mess that up. You know, I feel like if I was at home watching these interviews, I would be very critical of the questions asked, and so I don't want someone to be critical of me. So I want to deliver for the guy at home watching this.
It takes someone with knowledge to be able to straddle that.
We've done some wrestling too, Chelsea, and we had Raj recently.
Chelsea Green, we just talked to Raj a while back. But again, it's people who are, those two specifically, are just so good at it.
So good,
Chelsea's incredible.
She's unbelible. Yeah. She's a superstar.
One of the best. And Trish, hopefully soon. Trish.
Another legend.
Another legend. Okay.
Okay, and let's go here. This is my set. Yes.
Hey.
This is the set of the Ariel Helwani show. This is like set number 7 or 8. It's taken us a while. And you know what I like about this picture? So you included this, which is the screen where the guests come. But for the longest time, my show was not called the Ariel Helwani Show. I had different names. The main one was the MMA Hour for many years. But the show has evolved because I don't just talk about MMA anymore, as we talked about wrestling and boxing, and you know, I'll sometimes steer into other sports and whatnot. And I didn't feel like I had earned the right to have my name as the name of the show. I grew up idolizing Howard Stern. His show is called the Howard Stern. You know what it is. I didn't feel like I had earned my stripes. I finally feel like I feel like when people say like, oh, I'm going on Helwani, or I was watching Helwani, everyone knows what that is, who I am, at least in my little world. And it was a really big deal for me. I mean, anyone could put their name on their show. No one's stopping me from calling my show whatever it is, but I felt like I had to earn it. You know what I mean?
I get that. I get that.
And I always wanted my sets to look kind of like you're hanging with me at my house. Hence the carpet, hence like the wood.
Yeah.
Because my show is kind of long. It's like 3 to 4 hours every episode. And so I wanted to feel like you're just hanging in my house.
What qualifies someone to get a feature on your shelf there on the wall?
So that's a very good question. Some of these are posters that mean a lot to me. So like here's Bret Hart at the old Montreal Forum. This is a very famous boxing match, Leonard Duran, that happened at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal in 1981. This is a very famous Pride poster, which is an old MMA organization. But some of these actually, like this is like a random fighter named Virna Jandiroba, and the reason why she is on there is do you remember the Island Boys?
Yeah.
Do you remember those? So when these guys, they had like tattoos on their face. It was like a viral video of these like really weird looking kids singing this song called Island Boys. And so when it came out,
I'm like, I don't know.
When it came out, I was just like, all right, if a fighter walks out to this ridiculous song, I will immortalize you by putting you on my wall forever. And she did.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was sort of like a cool thing that like we had infiltrated the UFC where a fighter was doing like a gag on our show. Yeah. And so she's up there. Another fighter here did the same thing with another song, actually walked out to Shawn Michaels' Sexy Boy song. So this is Jessica Rose Clark. This is George St. Pierre when he won. So, and this is our logo of the company that I started called Uncrowned, which is the home of combat sports. And we have this deal with Yahoo. And so, yeah, all these things, you know, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I'm a huge fan of the rapper Action Bronson. So that's one of his albums. So I just like, this is Bret Hart over here. There's things that are sentimental to me, and I wanted to feel like you're coming to hang out with me for a few hours.
You know, the fact that you're expanding different ways and you want to go into different areas in your business, where do you want to take it? Like, who are the people you want to interview now?
Okay, so like, it's great that we're talking about this. I'm here at CBC,
Yeah.
about to cover the Olympics. I'm not an
Right.
Olympic expert. I'll never claim to be, but this is my opportunity to show people that I'm much more than just the combat guy.
Right.
So I got to do it in Paris in 2024 for them, and it was a huge honor to do it for my country, to do it for my country's national broadcaster, and to show people that I can interview swimmers, I can interview gymnasts, I can interview runners and things like that. It was such a rewarding experience. So this is the next chapter in that. But ultimately, I just, the way people talk about the greatest broadcasters of my lifetime, and I think Howard is number one. Charlie Rose, before he got into some trouble, I thought he was great. Larry King, I used to grow up watching him. Like, I want people to be like, it's a big deal to go talk to me because I get the best. I ask the toughest and most fair questions, and I'm the most researched and all that stuff. So I just if I could do a version of this every single day for the rest of my life while also doing this other fun stuff, I'd be a very, very happy man.
Who's someone you want to interview who's non-sport?
Specifically.
Yeah, there must be that one person.
Man, I would love to interview Howard. I've never interviewed Howard Stern. I've never met Howard Stern.
You've never met Howard Stern?
Never met
I'm
him,
kind of
no.
surprised.
Yeah. I mean, we both work in New York, but he's an icon and he's such a big deal. I got to cross one off my list recently. There was a guy named Bob Costas who I grew up idolizing. Marv Albert is someone that I've never met. He's getting up there as well. I'd love to interview him. Those are some names. Those are people who mean a lot to me, and who meant a lot to me, and kind of like shaped who I am as a person. As far as MMA and combat and pro wrestling is concerned, I feel very blessed that I've gotten to interview like the top dogs, from Tyson to Conor McGregor and everyone in between. But it's like I get as excited about those interviews as I do like the guy who just got a big win on Saturday, who's on the come up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But there's, as you guys well know, there's no greater thrill than that big interview. And I don't know if you can relate. I've never left an interview happy. Meaning I'm such a lamenter. I'm like, gosh, I should have asked. Like, I'm still lamenting an interview that I did on Monday that I'm pissed off that I forgot to ask a specific question. And I can't get over it. I can't shake it. And eventually I do shake it. But I was like, because one thing, and I respect this out of you guys as well, I don't like interviews where someone has like a sheet in front of them, or a phone or an iPad. You need to connect. You need to 100%. Talk. You know what I mean?
And you got to listen because you can do all your research and they say something and you're like, okay, I'm going to go to this direction with the interview. Right?
Amen.
What's that one thing you want to ask Howard Stern? I'm curious to know what it is that makes you him up here compared to everybody else.
Oh my. Well, like he's in his late 60s, maybe early 70s now. Like, what's the motivation? Like you've done it. Like you have to get up really early in the morning to do a 4 or 5 hour show. And I know he's doing less these days, but how do you motivate yourself at this age? Because I still think that he's got his fastball. You know what I mean? To steal a baseball phrase. And so I would love to know about that, and also the early days. Like in the. Maybe you've seen his movie, read his book. And like he had to face a lot of people who doubted him. He had to face a lot of people who were sort of proverbial roadblocks in his life. And he never really exudes any sort of self-doubt. But, I doubt myself all the time. I have imposter syndrome. When I'm at the Olympics and I'm going to interview Summer McIntosh, I'm like, why the hell am I interviewing Saka? Who the hell am I? When I'm in the ring with Mike Tyson on Netflix, why the hell am I here? How did I get here? You know what I mean? And so I wonder how he battled that. He's in New York City. There are people who want him to fail. And not only did he keep going, he was like spitting in their face. He was like telling them, F you, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to do this despite you. And so, just those internal battles that you go through as a public person, as a broadcaster, I would love to explore that.
Do you want to know that he has those same feelings that you have?
Yeah, I feel like that's what you're looking for, some kind of approval.
And what I always appreciate about him is like he was a little self-deprecating throughout his career, and also he was very open with his feelings, and like he would talk about a lot of things, and I've taken that from him. Like my show is very patterned after his show. Like my producers are characters just like his were. Like I'll talk to them. We have sound drops and stuff like that. I've really copied what he's done and obviously put my own spin on it. But yeah, ultimately, like I'm curious. And would it be interesting? Like, does he still feel that way? Do you ever lose that? And if you do lose that self-doubt, because I kind of feel like it's an engine for me. Like I feel like it's like the fuel to keep. If you lose that, is that the time to stop? You know what I mean? When you don't care about this anymore.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll find out.
Self-doubt is every day.
It's every day. That's true. Like
day.
I was gonna say that too.
It's a thing.
I had a dance teacher that would always say, you can never rest on your laurels. There's always
Yeah.
someone who's gonna work harder.
Yeah.
There's someone that's gonna want it more. And so you got to find whatever that fuel is that keeps you going. And a lot of times, I mean, in your case, certainly, making sure those things that, you want to be correct. You want to be the most correct.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess up this. You don't want to mess up that. That makes you keep going. You're on your toes all the time.
Yeah.
And with that, I mean, how long can that last as an engine? Is another question too,
it's exhausting at times.
It's exhausting. I like it as the professional version of like, you just go to a party and you say a really weird thing to somebody and then you think about it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But you have that as like on camera
I know,
for everyone to see.
true.
We all have that.
So you need to reach out to him, and you need to tell us when you do that interview.
I should.
I want this for you.
Yeah.
I was always a little afraid. You don't want to meet your heroes type of thing. But
you think he's still on MySpace? Try MySpace.
Yeah.
I don't know.
DM him. I know you DM him.
Dwayne is the man. I've interviewed him once on my show, and it was a tweet that I just shot my shot.
Right?
He responded right away, and the way that he freaking made it happen, he was like, "Yep, I'll be there on Monday." Within 20 minutes, I get an email from his PR person. This is how it's going to happen. I was like, "Damn,
Isn't
this is
insane?
an impressive dude." Very
him
genuine.
and Ryan Reynolds are a market. They're just so good at what they do.
Amazing, yeah.
And they connect with people on such a great level, right? Like they're just sweet as. Okay.
Okay. Wow, you guys went into the archives
Yeah,
for this one.
I want the hair back.
Yeah,
I want to
check
see
it.
that again.
So, wow, yes. I used to have an afro that was it ended up being much bigger than this in the end. This is actually like a shorter version. This is the summer of 2003.
You're so good with dates.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I'm weird when it
impressive.
comes to the dates.
Wow.
I mean, I can almost tell you to the day when it is. It's in New York City. I'm an intern at HBO Sports in New York City. And this is Jacqueline, who at the time was just a friend and now is my wife. And we went to school together. We met in the 7th grade. We dated in 10th grade and 11th grade. Then we kind of went our separate ways.
Yeah.
But we reconvened later in life. And now she's my wife and the mother of our 3 children. And I love her dearly. And I mean, it makes me a little bit emotional because, she's known me since I was 12.
Yeah.
And I think she keeps me grounded. She doesn't take my shit. Part of me for swearing. And she when I decided to leave that job in 2007, the Spike TV job, we got engaged, and I'm sitting in our 500 square foot apartment in the Upper East Side of New York City, MySpace messaging people and asking them to be on my little show and we're about to get married. There was not once where she doubted, someone might be like, what are you doing? What is this? There wasn't once where she questioned. There wasn't once where she was like, okay, like, when are you going to come back to reality and get a real job? That thought did not cross her mind. That she never exuded that. And I knew she never thought it. And so that's loyalty, right?
Yeah.
And that's true support. And so now here we are all these years later, and we look like kids here. It's pretty amazing. But it kind of represents the journey for me, and just how proud I am of, we're both from Montreal.
Yeah.
She's got a great business that she runs with her family, and it's still thriving till this day. It's a jewelry business, so she's wearing all the jewelry
very
here.
nice.
Got a photo. And
So
that
she
has
was doing
evolved
it
as
back
well.
then.
She was doing it back then.
There
since
you go.
1999.
Yeah.
And I love how her hand is on my shoulder, even though we weren't dating at the time. I feel like there was a connection.
Oh, so wait, you weren't dating
knew.
at
Not
this
dating
time.
At this time, no. We're just friends. So we dated in 10th grade, 11th grade. This
Yeah.
is like mid-college. This is junior to senior year.
And you just met up?
She, we stayed friends.
Yeah.
Right.
She was in New York on business.
Okay.
And I was sleeping. I was at the 92nd Street Y that summer, the worst conditions whatsoever. I would brush my teeth in the communal bathroom with the 65-year-old Russian men who were sleeping at the Y. But I'm living my dream working at HBO Sports.
Yeah.
And she came to visit me. And in fact, one night, I'm not saying too much, she slept over, and I was so afraid to ruin the relationship, the friendship. We slept in the same bed, and I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. Later in time, we reconnected, but she was just a friend at that point. She might have even had a boyfriend, but I felt like deep down,
There was a connection.
There was
You
something.
knew that.
This picture looks like 2 people that know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It
That's
really
what
does.
you
I
guys
was
were
like,
not together?
I didn't even give it a second thought that you guys wouldn't have been together in that photo.
Oh wow, yeah. No, we were just pals, and perhaps we were just pals because of the hair. Maybe
She was like,
maybe that was the deterrent.
Yeah. right. And then once you shaved it all off, she was like, now's the time.
No,
Bingo.
she was actually supportive of the hair. She used to braid it sometimes,
Very nice.
and it got a little bit bigger.
You also like you look like you are gonna get into MMA.
Yeah,
Like,
you do.
a
Yeah.
little bigger, I'm a little heftier.
Did you ever think about that for yourself?
Absolutely not.
No.
I'm
No.
a coward compared to those guys. I don't possess that DNA.
I gotta ask, how did you ask her to marry her? Like because you guys known each other for so long.
We've known each other for so long. Well, so have you ever seen the movie Garden State?
Yeah.
So what's funny is we're pals. Now we moved to New York at the same time. We go see this movie as pals. And I feel like that watching that movie together, like we both had an epiphany. You know, like the movie is like a little bit dark and there's life, death, romance. And I think that movie was like, oh, what we've been looking for is right here. So we started dating and all this stuff. And then a couple of years later, I told her that I was going on a business trip to cover an event.
Okay.
She doesn't follow MMA, so she had no idea. We're living in the city, New York City. I fly home to Montreal, go to dinner with her parents, asked her parents for permission, flew back the next day. She thought I was going to be back in like 3-4 days. 6 o'clock flight in the morning. Get there at like 7:30, and I remember I had a little digital camera. This is pre-iPhone. That's how old we are now. And I set it up on like my luggage, and then I rang the doorbell, and she's like half asleep, and she opens the door, and there I am. On my knee,
And she said,
now we have 3 amazing kids. And they're way more American than Canadian, obviously. They were born in America. But I'm so proud of them, and yeah.
Girls or
2 boys and a girl.
2 boys.
Oliver, Walter, and Claire.
Oh, I love that for you.
And do they share your love
story.
for sports? They must.
My boys absolutely do, and that's been such a gift. I was worried early on when they were liking Pokemon and things like that. I was like, no, this wasn't part of the plan. You have to be a sports fan. And now I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan. They love the Bills. Huge Knicks fan. They love the Knicks. They got into the Blue Jays.
Oh, good.
It's tough because they're surrounded by Yankees fans.
Of course.
New York. And they're like, no, we're following Dad. So I'm very proud of that.
Very nice.
And getting to go to games. So now they're 13, 11. Now to the point where they're like, hey, did you see this? And they're showing me something on YouTube, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Or I'll get home late from work, and they're watching the Knicks. I'm like, wow, this is everything I wanted in life. I just wanted to. And then my daughter's quasi into it. You know, she's more into the jewelry stuff with her mom.
Yeah.
But I feel very, very blessed.
Dude,
if you would have talked to me
blessing.
20-something years ago about what I wanted in life,
this is it.
It's exactly it.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah,
good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
This is a great picture.
Yes, thank you.
All right, and
one more. Sorry if I'm talking too long.
No worries.
Oh, talking about the Bills. There you go. Yeah.
This is unbelievable. This is from April of 2025, so just a few, not that long ago.
Scaring the shit out of me. They know these dates. I don't even know my birthday. Okay.
You know what's crazy about this? The Buffalo Bills, my childhood team, my favorite football team, invited me to announce one of their draft picks.
Wow.
This is in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I've never been there. And quite frankly, it's not that easy to get there from where I live. And you got to take, 2 flights. And I was like, am I going to go all the way there for 30 seconds to announce a pick? Hell yeah, I'm going to go over there. What an honor. Again, I always think, what would 12-year-old me say, when given an opportunity like this? So they called me up. I'm very open with my love of the Bills. And they said, yeah, we want you to announce a pick. I was like, holy crap, that's unbelievable. Like, what if the pick that I announced becomes a Hall of Famer, and then when they're doing his career retrospective in 30 years, it starts with me announcing his pick? What the hell? So I fly there, and I lean all the way in. I wear my Thurman Thomas jersey. He's my favorite player. I wore my Zubaz pants. And I did say, so that it was pick 177. So, as it gets later in the draft, it gets a little loosey-goosey. And I said to myself, I'm just going to cut a promo here, to steal a wrestling term. I can't walk up there and just be like, and with the 177 pick, I cut a whole promo about why the Bills are North America's team. Wow. Now, I'm surrounded by a sea of Packers fans. There was legit 100,000 people there. It was outside of Lambeau. This is the most exciting thing to happen to Green Bay in years. Right. What happens in Green Bay other than Packers? So the draft comes to Green Bay for the first time ever. And here I am, schmucky Bills fan, and I cut a whole promo about how the Bills are North America's team, and how Josh Allen is the reigning defending NFL MVP, and how we're going to win the Super Bowl and all this stuff. and then I announced the pick, cornerback Dorian Strong of Virginia Tech, 177 pick. And so this is me actually speaking to the Buffalo Bills God, saying that hopefully one day we'll get that Super Bowl ring that has eluded us for all these years.
That's amazing.
I'm a crazy person when it comes to sports. I'm very, very passionate, and so it looks like I'm speaking to a higher power.
Yeah, it does.
You are.
And
You're feeling it.
You're invoking them.
They were
You're
speaking
in
to
it.
me
You're
in
in
that
it.
moment.
In Green Bay, did they take that as a heel promo?
They started booing me. And by the way,
Amazing.
my alter
Love it.
ego is Helwani.
Yeah.
So I was.
You were in it.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. I wanted the boos.
Yes.
I didn't want cheers. The boos were validation.
Yeah,
This
you
promo
did
was
something
working.
right.
cutting through.
Yeah.
Yes. There were 2 Bills fans that they flew in, like International Fan of the Year. So they were giving me some kind of positive reinforcement, but I wanted them. And the thing that really pissed them off was North America's team. For some reason, that annoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard it. And I think a part of them were like, all right, get off the damn stage. It's been 3 minutes.
If only there were any kids in the audience you could have made cry. That would have been the
nice.
cherry on top.
They were hissing, and I don't know if it was just them being annoyed of my words or my presence, or I was taking too long. And I was worried that the NFL people in the back, they were like, what the hell was that? But everyone was like, that was amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
dude.
great.
That's awesome.
Because I really like extended it. Like, you're supposed to go up there, read the
Just
pick,
say,
and get off.
Yeah.
And I cut a whole damn promo.
That's
That was
awesome.
once in a lifetime.
Yeah, number 177.
Live
right?
the
You know,
moment.
Bring it back up to life. You know? Bring it back to life.
Yeah. One of the things you said, and you said it a few times, your 12-year-old self, and I think it's fitting in this situation to ask you, what advice would you give your 12-year-old self, knowing where you are now?
So I'm an anxious person. I'm again someone who's doubted himself. If you talk to some of my friends from high school, they'd be like, no way we thought Ariel would do this. And like I said, I'm a little like reclusive, keep to myself. I had such bad social anxiety in college that I would wait till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. until I didn't hear anyone in the dorms on the floor, run to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and run back because I didn't want to interact with anyone. That's how shy I was.
Okay.
That's how shy I was. And so what I would say to my 12-year-old self who dreamed big but wasn't quite sure how I'd get out of my shell, it's all going to work out.
Yeah.
It's all going to work out. You are going to doubt yourself. You're going to be faced with a lot of roadblocks, a lot of people who are going to tell you that you're not going to make it, all this stuff. And if you believe, if you're passionate, if you're honest, if you're hardworking, if you're professional, which you will be, it will all work out. And I would also say that there have been times where like I really didn't want to do things, and thank God, like go to Syracuse. I was terrified. I was petrified of leaving I'm very close to my parents. Petrified, but do it. Get out of bed, do it. Get out of your house, get out of your comfort zone, do it. Because again, you only get one shot at this life.
Amazing.
How do you define success for yourself then?
Ultimately, success to me is if, I'm healthy, my parents are healthy, my family's healthy. Like we're talking a lot about career stuff, but let's not kid ourselves. Like if we're not healthy and people around us aren't healthy, none of this matters. My kids, I want them to be better than me. I want them to have better lives than me. And I had a pretty damn good childhood. My parents gave me everything and then some, including support. They never doubted me as well. But I want them to think big. I want them to dream big. I want them to go for it. And the fact that I get to do what I do now, work with my friends, build this thing that we're building with this company, Uncrowned. We were able to create 20 new jobs, whether it was on the writing side, the production side, the audio side, for people that I admire and respect. Like these are my friends, and I got to make opportunities for them in a climate where there aren't a lot of media opportunities being created. I take great pride in that, and now I'm the leader, and I can't fail for them. We have to succeed for them because they believe in me.
Right.
And so as long as that keeps growing, as long as we get to keep doing this, if I'm doing this, a version of this, when I'm older, I'll be very, very happy. But I need more. I want more. I want to do more. And I'm so hungry. I'm so freaking hungry. I don't know if that comes across.
Yeah.
I am hungry and passionate.
You need a Big Mac.
I think so. Yeah.
No, we love that.
Yeah, and I also love this Olympics coverage for you. Speaking of like getting out of your comfort zone, right? Is this something that you want to continue to do here with them?
Great question. I was just telling someone in the back, if this is a part of my portfolio, if you will, my resume from now until I'm 80, that would be so great. Every 2 years, right? Like winter, summer. What a great thing. And I get to come home. Like it wouldn't mean the same if I was doing it in America. this is my home. This
Yeah.
is where I'm from. This is
Yeah.
in my blood. And getting to lean into my patriotism really means a lot. It's very fun because in my day job, you have to be kind of unbiased, neutral, down the middle. When you cover the Olympics, especially for your country, you can lean a little. You could be a fan. You can have fun. And that's really fun. So getting to do it in Paris was amazing. Getting to do it in Italy is a huge honor and privilege. Hopefully in LA in 28, that's going to be a spectacle, I think. So yeah, I would absolutely love it. And quite frankly, I have a lot of haters in the world of combat, and they say, you're not a journalist, you're a content creator. They try to hit me below the belt. And I say to them, number one, I have a degree in journalism from the best damn journalism school in America, Syracuse University. That makes me a journalist. And I'm an Olympic broadcaster, right? So I think that separates me from the pack, and that gives me a little feather in my cap.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
Dude.
I know Olympics are going to be fun.
It's going to be so fun.
Oh, I can't wait.
And you were so fun, and congratulations.
You guys are awesome.
Like
Thank you so much.
This was so good. Thank you for the stories, man.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you for the care. This is very thoughtful.
I just can't get over you knowing every date. Like,
it's weird.
It's weird.
You know what's weird? Like UFC goes by numbers.
Yeah.
So like I have a crazy memory. Like if you tell me like UFC 75 who fought, and I could tell you that. And that's like from 2007.
Well, the next time that we run into you,
yes,
we're gonna be like, oh yeah, when did we do that interview? And you're like, you're gonna be like the date, the time. You're gonna be like, you were wearing this, you were wearing that.
I don't even know where I parked. I don't even know. Like
names,
I can't.
And then like we'll meet parents at school with my kids.
Yeah.
Like we'll literally have an hour conversation. We'll go to dinner, and then I'll have to ask my wife like, what were their names again? That stuff I know nothing.
Okay, you gave me that.
Yes,
you gave me that.
But sports.
Yeah.
Days,
you got
my
it.
life, I know it all.
Ariel, congrats on
Yeah,
everything,
we're
man.
just so happy
much
for you.
your
This
time.
is awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was great. That was great.
You guys are really good. I really appreciate your
Oh,
style and how thoughtful you are, and a lot of the things that you said, like when you were talking about listening and all, like about interviewing, like we speak the same language, so it's really nice to speak to really great professionals. So I wish you guys the best.
We were both really excited for
Oh yeah,
this.
I know this happened quickly, so thank you for even caring.